Hello, booktubers. As you can see, I'm in a different location, and that's because my mom, and my dad took my grandma back. And they're gonna stay there where my grandma lives for the night. So I moved myself downstairs because it's one of those rare occasions where I have the whole house to myself, and because the dogs sleep with my parents, so they want me to sleep in their bed with the dogs because I don't want my bed to get all messy and hairy and stuff. So that's the only reason why I'm down here in my kitchen, actually, behind some wine bottles. You can see them. And actually, and another thing I'm very pleased with my hair right now. And actually, it looks good today. Like, it looks decent, which I'm happy about that. But anyway, and I'm also wearing my new Alice in Wonderland t-shirt, the second one. I have 3, but I wanted to replace my first one, which is like really short. I think it was more like kid size. So it was kind of small on me. I mean, it could fit me, but it was like really short, and I preferred the longer, like large or medium sized shirts. And then I got one that says Curiouser and Curiouser, which is a turquoise color and has the silhouette of Alice. And then I also wanted to get this one, which replaces the other one. I want the shorter one, and it says "We're all mad here" with the symbols of the Mad Hatter's hat, the clock watch from the rabbit, and the Cheshire Cat's tail. Can't see it, but anyway, I just wanted to talk about that, and I will do another video later to talk about how I just finished ACOWAR, and I can't decide if I like ACOMATH better or ACOWAR better, but ACOMATH or ACOWAR better. I can't decide between those two, but ACOWAR was an awesome conclusion to Freya and Rhysand's story. And I just heard on a Facebook group that all the other stories will eventually be about all the other characters, the other books that she's writing. So we'll get to see Elaine and Nesta's storylines, more of them. They will become center stage, which I'm so excited about because of the ships that were introduced in ACOMATH and into ACOWAR. I was very happy about it. So, but anyway, but that will be for another video. Today I'm going to do, first I'm going to do a tag. I'm going to do a tag, not first. So first I want to also mention that I finally started Siege and Storm. I was going to read it at the same time as I was reading ACOWAR, but of course, considering no surprise, I couldn't. I was too focused on ACOWAR to get back to this. So I started reading this one. I didn't get very far. I read a tiny bit of it today. I read the prologue. I read the before part, which is kind of the prologue, and then I read a little bit of chapter 1. But I read it while I was at the library, and the library closed early on Saturdays. Because, the library people, of course, they're going to want to get home and not waste their Saturday in the stuffy library. Okay, it's not stuffy, but you know what I mean. So I don't blame them, but I definitely have mixed feelings about how everything closes like super early. But anyway, like I said, I started this. I didn't get very far, but I'm going to read a little bit more in a little while, sometime today. But I did, of course, borrow some library books. I got the second series, Unfortunate Events, because I'm starting to read that. Because I felt like I missed out on that book series as a kid. This was the one, this might have been the one that I attempted to read that I got from my elementary school library. And just never, I don't know if I ever finished it or not. I'm weird because I never finished, I borrowed books from my elementary school library, but I don't think I ever finished them. I don't know, maybe I did. But I don't remember them. I remember which ones I got, but. And then I also got this. I remember hearing about this constantly on BookTube, so I decided to borrow it. Luckily, the library has a children/YA section. It's the first section on the, either the right or the left. I was never good at telling the difference between my right and my left. I have to think about it. And they have some of the newer books, the books that are talked about on YouTube. So I decided on BookTube. So I decided to go ahead and check out this because I heard some good things about it. I was hoping Fangirl would be there because I wanted to check that out. I mean, I'm sure I'll love it, but I just wanted to borrow it first before I decide to buy it. So, but it's not there. They did have Carry On at my library, but I decided to wait on that and just get Fangirl. I mean, I know I could probably read those separately, you know. Anyway, so I borrowed this too. I've been borrowing 2 books now. I started as just borrowing 1 book, but now I'm borrowing 2 books. And a series of unfortunate events that the books are really quick because originally it was written for kids. It's still a children's book, so I get through that a lot quicker. Okay, so anyway, now on to, I wanted to do the TBR intimidating book tag. Let me see if I wrote down who created this tag. I totally forgot to get that. I forgot to get who created the tag. I hope I guess if I have to look for it, I can find the original one and link it when I post this video. But anyway, okay, so let me get started so this video isn't super long. Okay. Here's the intimidating TBR book tag. Question 1. What book have you been unable to finish? The Fellowship of the Ring. I have barely been able to get started on that book. I've read like the first 2 or 3 chapters, maybe only 1 or 2 chapters. I just can't. That book is like, that trilogy is, I'm sorry, no disrespect to Tolkien or any fans of Tolkien who love him and his writing, but it's just hard for me to read that and to get into it. I love the movies, and because I've seen the movies, I felt like I should check out the books. I should read the books, but I keep trying to read The Fellowship. I've tried only a couple times, so maybe I can try again. But I have no urge to read it. I mean, I feel that I should, but I'm not eager to read it because it's just so hard. The writing style is just so hard for me to, to stick with. And I mean, that's just like my problem with reading and trying to read all the classics, but because of how they were written and how, authors got paid by the word, so they wrote a lot with their books, and it's just so hard. But I mean, there are some I've been able to get through, like Jane Eyre and Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility I was able to get through, although I was kind of bored with Sense and Sensibility, honestly. No, I mean, that's just my opinion, but I liked it well enough, but I want to get through it, honestly. Good news is the chapters were short, so it was easy to get through. But I did read The Hobbit. I read The Hobbit and I finished that one. It was like, I knew the movie was coming out soon at the time, so I decided to read it, and I was able to read it, which, again, it was originally written for children, so it was easier to read than the original trilogy. But I love the movies. So actually, it should be more like, if there was a question about what book I was unable to get very far, and then that one would be it. But it was the only answer I could come up with. I don't even have an answer to the second question. What book have you been unable to read because you don't have time? I don't have an answer to this one because I have all the time in the world. Like, I'm still unemployed right now, so I have plenty of time, to read books, unless, of course, like my parents, there's always things like my parents want me to do chores, like clean my room, or, my parents, or, help set the table or something, or empty the dishwasher, take care of the dogs, whatnot. And then I love TV and movies as much as reading books. Although I've been more focused on reading my books than watching TV. I mean, there are a lot of shows I need to catch up on. Like, I missed several episodes of Sleepy Hollow and Supernatural, and I mean, part of the problem is because our cable has messed up a couple times, and that messes up the DVR, the recordings, using my DVR. And usually I record shows via the DVR, and On Demand is messed up, and they had to replace the box, so it kind of threw off my TV schedule a little bit. And I'm more into my books. I mean, particularly since I was on a high with the ACA Math and ACA Wars and ACA War. I was like, and I mean, that was one of the rare occasions where I actually had to go out and buy the book on the day it came out. I ended up buying. I couldn't wait, and luckily, and of course, my mom and my grandma were already going out to run errands, so I went. I asked them if I can go. And I was very nervous that I wanted to find it, but then again, this is a small town, and that book civilian is kind of a small bookstore, and so it was. So luckily, there were 2 books there. There were 2 copies of ACA War there, thankfully. So to sum it all up, I don't really have an answer because I have plenty of time. It's just harder to read the books that are like over 500 pages and are like written a long time ago. But anyway, what book have you not been able to read because it's a sequel? Okay, so this isn't a sequel as in the second book. This is the 5th book, Empire of Storms, which is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series, in case you don't know, but I'm sure everybody knows book 2. But I have been unable to read because I got into the series late, and a little later, like, so I'm kind of starting to catch up. Like, I just bought Assassin's Blade last week, I think. It's hard to keep track of my weeks because now, since I don't do much, so it's hard to the days blend together essentially. So I don't know when I don't remember if it was next week I bought it, but I just bought Assassin's Blade, so I'm gonna read that before I read Queen of Shadows, because they mentioned the guy who trained and turned Selena into an assassin. So we meet him in one of the novellas. So I'm gonna read that now, and then I'll read Queen of Shadows. So I can't read Empire of Storms yet because I still have to read Queen of Shadows. So I'm a little bit behind than most people. Okay. What book? This one, I had a hard time with this one because I couldn't figure out what book there are a lot of brand new books out there. I couldn't figure out which one to put down for this question, so I don't really have an answer to this question. And I didn't know which books came out. Maybe Winter Song or Blood Rose, one of those, or Crooked Kingdom is not brand new. It was very hard for me to figure out to remember which books are brand new because, yes, being now part of the BookTube family, there are so many books I heard about, all the new books and everything, and being a Goodreads member and everything you hear, but now being part of the book community, it's just hard for me to remember which ones just came out, which ones are brand new and stuff, because sometimes they're new to me, but they're not brand new. They're just books I haven't got around to reading yet. So I didn't have an answer for this one. What have you yet to read because you read a book by the same author and didn't like it? Again, another question. I'm doing so bad at this because there are so many questions I don't have answers to. This one I don't have an answer to either because I've always been happy with authors I pick up and the books that I read. I mean, some of them, like, I haven't read any of their other books. Like, J.K. Rowling, I haven't read beyond the Harry Potter series. I haven't even read the other Harry Potter books. I saw the movie version of Fantastic Beast. I saw that movie last week, or the week before. I was able to finally watch that. But, like I said, I have not read A Cursed Child because I've heard some things about it that I wasn't sure if I wanted to waste my money on it. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I saw it at our library because I might borrow it just to determine that if I'm gonna like it or not. So, but I've never had a problem. There hasn't been any authors that I don't like, and so I don't have an answer for this one. Again, I feel really horrible because there are several questions I don't have answers to. But, What book have you yet to read because you're not in the mood? Okay, yes, I have an answer to this. The Three Musketeers. I started that because I wanted to read it for Tome Topple, but because I was overstretching myself just a bit with that and reading more than 2 books. That did not work out. I did start reading. I mean, I did read a little bit of the other books that I had on there, but I didn't get very far in them. So I feel like that doesn't really count. I mean, I'm sure other people will say, "Oh, but it's okay. At least you read them." Which okay, fine, but I still feel like I didn't get very far in them. So, but the problem is with Three Musketeers, it's very, again, it's a classic, so it's the writing style is not, it's harder, it's more challenging for me to get into. And I mean, I like it, and I got through up to 5 chapters, and I know what's going on. I understand the context of it because I've seen the movie versions, but I can't get into it right now, and it's like and so that's the one that, and I'm just not in the mood for that one right now. What book have you yet to read because it's humongous? The Count of Monte Cristo. My edition is huge. I would get it, but I'm lazy, and I would get it to show you, but I'm lazy, and I'm down here, and it's up in my room. My room is the one upstairs part of the house, because, like I said, our house is 1 level, but we have a bonus room, and the bonus room is my room. So I'm being lazy, and plus it's going to waste time, and I don't want this video to be super long. But my edition of the Count of Monte Cristo is huge. In thin paper, of course. And that is going to make it hard for me to take it around places, unfortunately. And I like taking my books everywhere with me. Hence the big purses. But with the new purse I want those purses that are like backpacks, kind of smaller backpacks. And I don't know if I will be able to fit if my grandma gets it for me from the military base shopping store. If she gets it for me, it's kind of the one that's there. It's kind of small, and I don't know if I will be able to fit my edition of the Count of Monte Cristo. So, but yeah, that one is humongous, or at least it looks humongous. Okay, this unfortunately is another one I don't have an answer for. Number 8. What book have you yet to read because it was covered by and it got bad reviews? I don't honestly. I mean, yes, it is true that I do a little bit of judging books by their covers, and I understand the appeal of beautiful covers. Like, I judge a lot of modern romance novels, the ones that are written by today's authors, not the classics, but the romances that are written today, that whether they're historical or not, I kind of judge those books by their covers. And of course, Terry, my friend Terry, if she is watching this, she'll probably say, she's probably thinking I'm not giving it a fair chance because I need to read them. But I do think Nicholas Sparks kind of ruined the appeal of romance novels for me. I think I've said that before. I don't remember if I said that before in a video, but because his books got so repetitive, and like I say, I'm more of I'll watch a rom-com, and I'll watch like romance on TV, like in TV shows and movies. But I rather read for book-wise, I want to read a fantasy book, or even sci-fi or horror. I'll read those. And I'll read historical fiction romances. Some of them, not like the modern ones that are written today, not like the ones that you can buy at Walmart or Target, or like at the airport. Not those, but the ones like Gone with the Wind or Kate Moore. A lot of her books have romances in them, or some of the some the adult that are not the adult romances aren't like erotic and naughty, aren't just meant for entertainment purposes. It's just hard for me to explain to people. That's why I don't like people to recommend books to me because it's hard for me to explain exactly 100% what I like. It's easier for me to just go to the store and pick what I want, which explains why I don't which explains my answer why I don't have the answer to this question, because usually I know what I want. when I go to a bookstore, I'm usually on a mission. There's a certain kind of book that I want, and when I go to, and if I don't know, then I always go to the same sections, and I have a pretty good idea of what I really like. And yes, I might judge the cover. I don't know. I don't think I do, but maybe, but I probably do. And then I read the back. But usually I'm pretty sure I know what I want. I usually am pretty sure that, like, I'm in the middle of a series, so I'm reading the next book. I'm going to buy the next book in the series, or I've heard about the book on BookTube, so I have to get it. So I know people will find this hard to believe, but I don't do cover buys. I mean, I understand the appeal of a pretty cover, but I don't do that. I usually know what I want to get, I don't buy books and think, it's a pretty cover, so I want to buy it. I mean, it's just how I am. Okay, the last question, well, okay, not technically the last question. I think there's 10 questions, but the 10th question is who you're going to tag. And I don't want to I don't feel comfortable doing the tags just yet because, some of the people I now have interacted with on BookTube that I've kind of made friends with, I don't have their BookTubes memorized enough to be able to tag them. So anyway, let me just answer this question. Question number 9, what is the most intimidating book in your TBR? Okay, I'm going to use the answer I've already used, The Count of Monte Cristo. And it's for the same reason why I hadn't made the answer for the other question. It is a big book. It is huge. I mean, I have read 1,000 books that are 1,000 pages, like Gone with the Wind and It by Stephen King, which I am rereading right now, because it's been so long, and I do want to reread Gone with the Wind too. But out of the books I haven't read ever, The Count of Monte Cristo is very intimidating. It is huge. Of course, there are a lot of classics that look pretty huge. I mean, like, actually, my edition of Moby Dick looks huge, but this one is still, like, fatter in size, but, Moby Dick looks pretty big too, but then because it's the 150th anniversary edition, the reason why it looks so big is because there's, like people discussing the book, people making annotations and questionnaires and all that kind of stuff, like all this special stuff in it. That's why that Moby Dick looks so big. But Count of Monte Cristo is the most intimidating because it's huge. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to tag anybody because, again, I feel like I'm not comfortable enough yet to tag anybody. So if you want to do this one, feel free. Consider yourself tagged. All right, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my video.